A cold afternoon settled over a quiet American town where life moved at an unhurried pace. Inside a vintage diner, the air was thick with the scent of coffee and fried bacon, while a jukebox hummed softly beneath the murmur of idle conversations. Sunlight streamed through wide windows, reflecting off turquoise walls and worn red booths. Everything felt ordinary until it wasn't. In a corner booth sat Reed Dawson, known among bikers as Red Dog. His tattooed arms rested heavily on the table. Denim vest frayed by years of the road, a gold cross glinting against his chest. He looked like a man shaped by hardship, intimidating, distant, and battle-worn. Few would guess that behind his hardened stare lived a soul weighed down by regret. As Reed stirred his coffee, the diner door creaked open. A young woman stepped inside, or rather stumbled in, was thin, wearing a loose gray sweater, torn jeans, and mismatched shoes. In her arms, she held a small child, no older than 3, her face pale from the cold. Hair tangled, body clinging tightly to her mother. The woman's eyes scanned the room, not for a menu or a seat, but for mercy. Most people looked away, some glanced briefly, then returned to their meals. The waitress hesitated behind the counter. Only Reed noticed how tightly the woman held her child, whispering softly to keep her calm. Slowly trembling, the woman approached Reed's table. Instead of sitting, she lowered herself to her knees beside him. The room fell silent, her eyes fixed on the untouched food in front of him, steam still rising from the plate. With a shaking hand, she gestured toward it and whispered, "Could I take the leftovers? For my daughter?" Time seemed to stop. Reed stared at her, his breath caught in his chest. The child buried her face into her mother's sweater, clutching it as if afraid the world might take even this moment away. Something broke open inside Reed. Long ago, he had lost his own family. A marriage ruined by chaos. Daughter he hadn't seen since she was 5. Every night when engines went quiet, her face haunted his thoughts. And now, here was another child, hungry, helpless, just like his might have been once. Without a word, Reed stood. The woman flinched, fearing anger. Instead, Reed pushed his plate gently aside and walked to the counter. He spoke quietly to the cook, who nodded. Moments later, Reed returned, carrying 2 full takeout boxes and a bottle of milk. He knelt down in front of the woman, lowering himself to her level. "These aren't leftovers," he said softly. "This is fresh, and there's enough for tomorrow, too." He placed the food into her hands, then reached into his vest and pulled out folded bills, enough to feed them for days. Tears spilled freely down the woman's face. "Why?" she whispered. "Why would you help us?" Reed looked at the child and replied quietly, "Because once, I couldn't help mine." No one spoke. The diner watched as gratitude filled the space between them. Even the waitress stepped forward, offering the little girl a warm cup of cocoa. Some bikers nearby looked away, swallowing hard. When the woman finally left, her eyes were brighter than when she entered. Reed sat back down, his heart heavy, but lighter than it had been in years. That night, as he rode beneath fading neon lights, the wind seemed to strip away years of regret. Somewhere out there, he hoped his daughter was safe, perhaps helped by someone kind, because that's how lives change. And if this story moved you, remember to subscribe for kindness, and support our channel, K for Kindness, where one act of compassion can restore a soul.